Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I have the update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. So everything you need to know about this project is linked down below. Basically, you randomize or pick some eyeshadows, try to hit pan. I am using the spreadsheet that Makeup with Laney made. She's linked down below. The spreadsheet is linked down below. There is 100 prompts in there. There's some duplicates, and I'm trying to hit pan in an eyeshadow for every prompt that is in the spreadsheet. My rules are that I either hit pan, or if I don't feel like I'm gonna hit pan or I'm getting bored of an eyeshadow, if it's been in for 2 months, then I can roll it out. So this update, we have one shadow that has been in for 2 months now, and the rest was all rolled in last month, and it was a crazy good month. Again, I don't know really what got into me, but I was going for it. I do have to say, last month I did roll in some fairly easy shadows for myself, but that was okay. I'm just gonna show you my shadows, and then we get to roll some new eyeshadows, which I'm excited about. So the one shadow that has been in for 2 months was for the prompt Something You Want to Pan, and it comes from my Flor Mar Quad, and I rolled this in for Something You Want to Pan because when I rolled this in, I had a very green color story, and I was like, this is gonna work with that color story. And I was curious to see how deep these pans were because I'd never hit pan on one of these shadows. So this is what my shadow looks like right now. As you can see, I was able to hit pan in this one. It isn't as deep as I thought, which is good because I was kind of scared it was going to take me very long. I have previously used this 7 times and I had to use it 5 more times. So a total of 12 uses to hit pan, which isn't that bad. These shadows, or like the shimmer, is okay. It's not very shimmery. I prefer my shimmers to be more on the glittery side. And this is more of a just like satin shimmer. But it worked fine. I mostly used it as a base for more glittery shimmers in the same kind of colors, so I enjoyed using this. So this is rolling out, and then all of the other shadows were rolled in last month. So the first one was for the prompt Drugstore Shadow, and I picked a shadow from my Makeup Revolution e.l.f. palette. And I picked the white shimmer shadow that is right here. And as you can see, I was able to hit pan in this. So this was a very easy shade for me to use. It was just an inner corner highlight, so not too difficult to hit pan on. And it took me 14 uses to hit pan. Then the next shadow was for the prompt Starts With O, and I rolled in a shadow from the Shrek X Revolution Puss in Boots palette, and the shadow is called Outlaw. And this is what it looks like. And again, I was able to hit pan. I actually hit pan in this morning. I used it as an inner corner highlight mostly when I had hit pan in that white shimmer shadow, but this also worked very nicely all over the lid just as one shadow. And I would often use it like I did this morning when I would go to the stables. I just do very easy makeup, quick, and get out the door. So I used it this morning for that, and I was able to hit pan. And it took me 10 uses to hit pan in this shadow. The next one is for the prompt Favorite Formula, and I picked a Glam Light shadow. It's difficult to pick my favorite formula, but Glam Light's definitely up there. And I had worked the month before on a shadow out of this palette, and I decided to keep it in. I was working on this shadow this month, and hopefully you can see that I was able to hit pan. These shadows are very soft, so they kind of move around, which is why you can see this dip is sort of like moving inwards. I don't know how to explain it, but I was able to hit pan, and it took me 6 uses to hit pan. So this shadow had some previous use. 6 uses isn't a lot, but it definitely helps that these shadows are very soft and they sort of move around, so you tend to hit pan a little bit easier. Then a shadow for the prompt Blue Matte. Now this one comes from my Beauty Bay Alice in Wonderland palette. This is the Matte Hatter one, and I rolled in this blue matte for the prompt Blue Matte, so that's, you know, what was supposed to be rolled in, a blue matte. This one is difficult. I do love light blues, but I don't often wear them all over my lid. It's mostly been used as a lower lash line color and then topped it with some shimmer, but I have enjoyed it. I actually did roll in a new palette for my project Level Up, and in that palette there is a very nice shimmery light blue that has been pairing very well with this one. So I am still going to be working on this one, and I'm not mad about it. I don't know if I will be able to hit pan before I get bored of this shadow, but we shall see. And then the last one is a shadow for the prompt Starts with E. Now this shadow had been in before. I have looked it up, and I believe that I had used that there around 15 to 20 times already. Not quite sure. Maybe I will look it up again and put it on the screen, but it doesn't really matter. Just to say, it had been in this project before. I got bored of it before I hit pan. I didn't have a lot of options for Starts with E, so I brought it back in, and I was determined to hit pan this time. And this is what that shadow looks like. So I was able to hit pan. This, by the way, is the shade Eucalyptus from my Beauty Bay Earthy palette. So I was able to hit pan. So I used it 6 more times. So I think this has about 25 to 30 uses before I was able to hit pan, which is a lot for Beauty Bay shadow, but that's fine. It has been completed and I can roll it out. And I think I forgot to tell you how many times I used this blue. I used that 11 times this month. So this one is staying in. The rest is all rolling out, which is crazy. So we're gonna roll 5 new shadows. This could be fun, but it also could be a disaster. Okay, so I have updated the wheel. I've removed the prompts of all the shadows that I hit pan on. We currently have 42 prompts left, so we're over halfway done with completing all of the prompts, which is exciting, and I'm sure it's gonna take me a little bit of a while. I cannot guarantee that the next update is going to be as good as this one, but it totally depends on what we roll, so let's just go for it. I'm going to roll 5 new prompts and then pick shadows. The first one is partner, roommate, or friend pick, which is going to be difficult because no one's home except for my cats, so I think I'm going to have to re-roll. Sorry about that. Shadow that starts with B. Blue shadow matte. Okay, we're already working on that one. Shadow that starts with I. Shadow that starts with V. Shadow that starts with I. Okay, we already have that one. Are we gonna get all letter prompts? I need 2 more. Shadow from a monochromatic palette. Okay, that's kind of scary. And the last one, most expensive shadow. Okay, I'm gonna check my collection and I will be right back with my picks. All right, that was quite a challenge. I really had to look through all of my palettes to find one starting with B, I, and V, but I did it. So I'm gonna show you the swatches after I've shown you all the palettes and the shadows that are gonna be rolled in. So staying in is that light blue matte shadow. For the prompt, starts with B. I'm rolling in a shadow from my ColourPop Lizzie McGuire palette, and it is the shade Bye-Bye. This is that shadow. Again, this is an easy inner corner highlight or simple all over the lid shade. I am by no means implying that I'm going to hit pan in this easily, because ColourPop shadows are quite hard to hit pan on. I'm just going to say right away, this round will probably not be as successful as the last one, because there's quite a few shadows that are going to be tricky to hit pan in, but I'm gonna try my best. So that's the first one. Then for starts with I'm rolling in my Makeup Beauty Shop Serpent palette, and I am rolling in the shade Immortality, and this is what that is. It is quite flaky shadow and also quite soft, so I think this one I will have a good chance of being able to hit pan in, but we shall see. Then starts with V. I am rolling in my Zoeva Blank Fusion palette. I'm scared of this one because these shadows are deep as well, but I'm rolling in the shade Visions of Gold. I don't know if you can see on the other ones that I've hit pan in, but these pans are deep, so that's gonna be a challenge, but that's for that prompt. Then a shadow from a monochromatic palette. I honestly was scared that we were going to be back into green because of my Beauty Bay Earthy palette, but then I remembered I also have the Aha Honey palette, so we're rolling in a yellow instead, and I'm gonna go for Sunburst, which is a shimmery yellow with blue reflects. I don't know if you can see the blue reflect, but I'm rolling that one in. And then for most expensive shadow, I'm gonna roll in a Give Me Glow shadow, because I think this is my most expensive palette. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. So I am gonna be rolling in the shade Fireworks, which is in the middle right there, well, in the middle row. This is an orange with like a yellow reflect to it. Very pretty. So I'm going to be rolling that one in, even though this palette is also my Project Level Up palette, but I'm working on a different shadow to hit pan in. So I'm going to roll that shadow in for my Panda palette. And then here is the new color story. So we have this matte blue staying in from that Beauty Bay Alice in Wonderland palette. This is the shade Bye-Bye from the ColourPop Lizzie McGuire palette. This is the shade Immortality from Makeup Beauty Shop Serpent. You can see this has a stunning blue reflect. Not very much of a base color, but beautiful, beautiful reflect. This is Visions of Gold from the Zoeva palette. Then next to that is Sunburst from ColourPop. I think these two will pair very lovely together. And then this is Fireworks from Give Me Glow. Look at that. Stunning. So a very summery color story. We have some yellows, some oranges, pinky blue, which will match very nicely with this. And then this for an inner corner. I think I can do very nice looks with these colors. It's somehow a quite cohesive color story, and I'm excited to work on that. And like I said, next update, I don't think I will have 5 pans, but that's okay. So that was it for this update. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.